Hello, everybody. We are live to discuss The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington, our September book of the month. Oh no, now it's out of focus. There we go. It works on this side of my face. Very excited to chat about this book. Myself and Sophia have literally just finished in the last half hour, so it's going to be fresh, unprocessed thoughts. It'll be an interesting time. But welcome in, everybody. If you've read the book, let us know in the comments what you rated it. If you haven't read the book, how excited are you to read it? Curious, let us know. But shall we, for those who haven't read it, I'm just trying to think. I tried to summarize what this book was about last night and failed miserably. If either of you want to have a go at like sharing what this book is about, have a whack at it.
Oof.
I can't hear you, Sophia.
We've lost you again. Yes, no. You're gone. 1 second. Technical difficulty. It's not working.
Oh.
It was working like less than 2 minutes ago.
I know.
Is this working?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, I'll just take these headphones off. Maybe they just did not want to work. Okay. I was saying, Rochelle, you do it.
Of course.
Sorry.
It's fine. I just saw like someone said 1 star. I'm sorry, Rochelle. It's fine. Just like
we've got it.
The desk and be like, goodbye.
Yeah. There's a whole mixed bag here.
Yeah.
Lots of different ratings. Very interesting.
Yeah.
This one's kind of hard to summarize. Like, I can understand why you absolutely failed. So we are following several protagonists in this lore. There was a war against magic users recently because they used their powers incorrectly, and we are following the fallout and the potential journey of people that are discovering that they may have this old, now outlawed type of magic, and how that's going to affect their lives and how that may affect the world in general.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good.
Very good. So much better than what I could have done.
Beautiful.
Yay!
Success. Oh. All right. So, shall we also go around the room and share what we thought of the book, overall thoughts, star ratings?
Yeah, let's do
it. Sophia, do you want to go? Shall we start?
Sure, I'll start. So I literally finished this half an hour ago, so it's fresh. Well, the last quarter is really fresh. I gave it's currently sitting at a 4. You know, we never know how ratings can change throughout a discussion, so it's currently at a 4. I actually really enjoyed the world building. That was something that I thought he did very beautifully. It was done in such a natural way, in my opinion. There were definitely some bits that were a little bit info jumpy, but whatever, it happened. I really enjoyed all of the characters. I thought all the characters were really interesting, and they had really distinct paths throughout the story. And what else can I say? That because literally the last quarter is in my head, so I don't want to say anything spoiling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I will say it is very much I would say it's a very readable high fantasy. It's very commercial. It's not something that I feel like a lot of people might because I feel if you go into a high fantasy, you might just really struggle because it's just so dense and so there's just so much going on. But I think with this one, it was written in such a way that I think anyone can pick it up and read it. So I would just, I thought it was really good for our token white man of the year.
The token
Love
white
it.
man.
Love it. Yeah.
Love it.
I really enjoyed it. And I did it on audio/ebook. So I thought the audiobook was really good too. So I would recommend it because the narrator was really good.
Yeah, I also did the audiobook. Very good.
Very good. Yeah.
I I flipped back and forth between the audio and the physical and sometimes did both, but the issue is there are differences between the audio and the printed book. It's I it feels like they
Interesting.
narrated it using like the proof edition because it was only every 30 to 50 pages I'd notice like a word was changed, or they delete entire sentences from a paragraph or add in new sentences here and there, which was very
Yeah.
disconcerting when I was listening to it at like 2.5 3 times speed to like match my reading speed, and I'd just be like, wait, what did he just say? It doesn't match what I'm trying to read. So that was interesting. I
Could
don't
it be
know
different
why.
editions? Like, could it be like a US versus Australian edition? Like, I don't know.
I mean,
Potentially.
this is like the UK. It came out in the UK.
It came out in
through
Oz
Orbit.
first and then was optioned into America, I think.
But yeah, but this is like this isn't the Australian edition. This is the UK one, so you'd think it'd be close enough to the US.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, there were some differences, which was okay. But I think I'm similarly sitting at a 4 for this one. It was a really easy, digestible, and enjoyable kind of high fantasy. I also really loved the characters. And I really liked the different perspectives that we have. We're following quite a few different protagonists, but it was a nice kind of balance of everyone's perspectives and like focusing on the ones where their parts of the story at that point in time were the most important. And like a couple of like I think we only get like maybe half a chapter from his perspective, like once or twice, and it made sense to get his perspective in that scene with other characters. But yeah, it wasn't like an even mix, 1/3 this character, 1/3 that character. It was I think it was done well in that respect. And yeah, I was very intrigued by the lore, the history, and the magic, and yeah, very interesting histories for a lot of the characters too,
Yeah.
which we'll dive into in the spoilery section.
I was stressed throughout this book. Like, I was stressed. So stressful in some moments. Like, I was just like, oh my God, what's going on?
What is happening?
Yeah.
Rochelle, your turn. You go.
Similar boat. I'm at a 4-star currently. Depending on discussion, I can potentially could go either way. But yeah, I like yourself, Sophia. I really enjoyed the world building and the characters. It was both like the pacing and the actual plot progression was the thing that I struggled with. Like, it's
Quite
very slow paced, but a lot
yeah.
happens. So it was kind of that mental disconnect of brain is like slow, but brain is also like fast. Very
confusion. I don't know.
Confusion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did really enjoy the characters and the world building. One of the things that I enjoyed was like with the character perspectives, we only got what we needed out of those. He didn't fall into the trap of, oh, I've now written a perspective from this character. I have to write all of the scenes from their perspective from now on, which would have bogged down certain sequences very heavily. And I did enjoy the majority of the perspectives that we did get.
Agreed. Again, totally agree. The writing style was very easy to follow, wasn't too over the top. It's just like it's kind of one of those writing styles where you don't really notice it. Like some you're just like, oh, this writing's very interesting, but this one was just very easy to absorb, and you weren't super conscious of it, which I think works, which is a good sign for sure.
It works very well for the genre and for the story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got like a nostalgia feeling from like the authors just like going back to like the 80s and 90s, like high fantasy, just like returning to that style. And it was just like, it's been so long since I have traveled to these lands.
It's been 84 years.
It's been 84 years. So yeah, so it was nice to have that sense of familiarity with the word choices and the pacing and the style of the overall book.
Yeah, for sure. What about some of our kind of favorite characters of the bunch?
I loved Asha.
Mm-hmm.
Loved Asha. I thought like her story, like I'm not gonna say spoilers, but I thought that her journey was just so interesting. And I really liked how she developed and how like you started to see like where she might be going, like in terms of where she sits in the world and where she will go, and how she'll influence future decisions that come, especially towards the end, like without saying anything. I also was just like, I just remember the beginning, like when you first have what happens to her at the very beginning. I was so mad. I was like, no, this cannot be happening to her. And then you just see her kind of overcome all these obstacles, and it's just fantastic. I thought that as the only like female identifying protagonist in the story, in the book, I thought she was written very, very well.
Yes.
And they weren't, she didn't fall into the tropes that I find a lot of high fantasy females do.
Yeah, I agree. And kind of expanding upon that whole part of like what happens to her, I thought that was really interesting because, oh no, I'm not sure if it's my internet. Anyway, so it starts out obviously that we have Davian's perspective. So we get like a few chapters from him, so it seems like it's his story, and then things kind of switch to Asha. So it was a nice pleasant surprise for me to get this second perspective from someone who seemed like it was going to be a side character, but she was very much at the forefront of the story and had a very interesting, heartbreaking journey. Yeah. It was very, very tumultuous beginning. Things shit hit the fan so quickly.
Oh yeah,
but
100%.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, it was very I'm just thinking about some of the things that happen later on in the book because I'm still like reeling from it. So I'm excited to get into the spoiler section shortly. But yeah, there was a lot that happened in the book. But again, it was an interesting, like there's a lot that happens, but it also is quite slow in the pacing and how it feels. So
yeah, maybe the author's just trying to get us warmed up. Like, okay, so this is what happens, but we're pretty slow now, so just wait till book 2 and 3. But I don't know what book 2 and 3 are like, so we'll have to find out.
Yeah, touching on Asha, like it could have so very easily turned into she's a damsel in distress. All of this stuff is happening to her. She's not participating. She's not making choices, especially with her particular plotline. It could have very easily fallen into that trope. And I'm very glad that the author has clearly taken measures to be like, nope, not going to do that. She's going to have agency, So I really enjoyed Ashley's perspective.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think so just to jump like on top of that as well, I think in terms of our perspectives, I thought, is it Caden? That's how it was pronounced in the audiobook. Caden's perspective was so interesting. Because like, obviously we'll talk about it later, but like I mean like just in the initial like stages of his like introduction into the story, I was just like, who is this person? And why is it every time it's his perspective, I really just want to know what's going on? I mean, not to say that Davian was boring. Like, I think he's definitely being set up as like, not the chosen one, but definitely being set up as like.
He gets that vibe.
Yeah, he gets
that vibe though. Just like the chosen one main character.
And Davian does go through
and he's not the most interesting of the main characters.
No, he's not the most interesting, but I will say that in the audiobook, when they first were saying his name, I thought it was Damien, and I was like, I actually can't read a fantasy book where they have regular names. Like, don't do this to me, James. James, don't do it. But yes, I thought Davian is not as interesting, but I do find that he's definitely being set up. Like, there's a lot of setting up for him in this book. And then Weir, I thought was really like, I really liked Weir. Like,
Weir is Probably tied with
I
Asha
like
as
Weir.
my favorite.
just loved Weir, and
Yeah.
a fair bit happens to Weir, and there's a few revelations, and I'm like, bro,
He came in with the snark, and my heart had no defense. I was just like, "Oh, you're my sarcastic
I
sidekick.
know.
All right, let's take you. You're under the wing.
I
Let's go."
know.
He's like Styles
And
from
I-
Teen Wolf. Like that's the vibe I got.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I really liked Weir, and kind of like how, I don't know, with at the very beginning of the book with what happens with Davian and his decision, and Weir's just like, I'm coming along. You can't tell me I'm not coming
Obviously.
I was
along.
like, yeah, you
Like,
can't say
I'm
it, yeah.
gonna be there. I'm your best friend.
Duh.
Yeah, I really liked him, and I liked that he was
Loyalty.
he was very so loyal, and also for his age, he seems very wise. Like he's just able to like read a situation really well and kind of think more critically about it, and like put Davian in his place when he's about to do something stupid. So I really liked that balance.
Yeah,
Very
it was a good balance
self-possessed.
between them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That good friendship.
Absolutely.
You gotta balance.
I did think that the whole history with like the augurs and the gifted and all of that, because I've just recently still replaying Dragon Age Origins, and it definitely gave me like the mages versus like the Templars vibe, where like the gifted are very much like in a position where like, you know, at any moment they can just be like shunned from society, and like, you know, all these things happen. And like I mean, it's definitely like not necessarily I think it is kind of more of a trope in fantasy where that kind of stuff happens, but I liked the way that the author kind of changed it a little bit. Like it's still the same trope, but it was his own spin on it, and I liked that. And anyway, won't say anything more.
Spoilers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we'll have to dive into spoilers soon because there's some characters that I want to talk about that are heavy spoiler territory. So I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that we can discuss before. Yeah. I mean, I think we've kind of covered a lot of the basics, non-spoilery stuff. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else we can touch upon safely. No, let's do it. Okay, we're going to dive into spoilers, friends. If you haven't read the book and don't want to be spoiled, I would suggest leaving. Oh no, is my internet really bad? Am I cutting out?
No,
you're fine.
No! Okay. It keeps freezing for me, so I'm just not sure what's happening. But yes,
you're fine for us.
We're going into spoiler territory. Would recommend leaving if you haven't read the book and plan to, because there's some surprises that I don't want to ruin things. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Where do we start?
So Caden, everything ties together in that epilogue, and I was like,
God.
I don't know. Obviously had a huge suspicion that might be the case, but was hoping not, because he's just got such an interesting recent history of having like all of his memories intentionally removed.
Yeah.
And he just seems like it. Yeah, and he's kind of like shaped by his new experiences and becoming a different person that is kind of contrasting with who he's been for thousands of years. So, hundreds of years? Thousands of years.
Thousands of years. Remember. He's like 3,000 years
Thousands
old.
of years.
He old.
Yeah.
You're old beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, look.
I'm scared.
Like, look, when I read that last line, like when I read like that last paragraph, I was like, fuck off. Like, no. I was like, no. Are you serious?
Like, this is gonna fuck everything up for our characters. Oh god. Like, adds like,
yeah. Just like what a mic drop moment. You're just like, okay, James, the fuck? Just at him.
Just
be like, excuse me.
Surprise!
Ooh.
Surprise! I hope so.
I would be interested to see if there is a redemption arc, you know, because I feel like it could go either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really kind of teetering on the edge here. He could, you know, fall back into his old ways, or he could, change and stick with this kind of new path that he's forged for himself, which is just so interesting. I'm very curious to see. Yeah, it was really very cool how that influenced his story.
One thing I did really love about Caden's
Yeah,
perspective
exactly.
is we would read a chapter and then we'd be like, oh, okay, we would make assumptions about how he was feeling, how he would react. And then when we saw that particular side from his perspective, like his thoughts did not match what I was thinking that he was thinking at any point, but it was still like logical and made sense for him to be feeling the way that he was feeling. So I really enjoyed that because like sometimes in these kind of books, because it is all from one author, their perspective and thoughts can be kind of samey, and I enjoyed that he was so disparate.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yeah, those flashbacks were so interesting when he was reliving all these memories, and like also that first one where he talked to I can't remember there's that one character who's like, oh, hello, how are you doing? And then he's like, who are you? Like that first instance where he has that was a very interesting, I don't even know how to describe it. He was in some place that he'd created but was being overcome by shadow. But yeah, he just seems, so many people knew who he was and seemed to look at him as a leader. So it was like, oh, is he who I think he is? Because that character had disappeared and been thought dead for so long. But dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. I think in regards to a redemption arc, it will depend entirely on when he trusts the others, how their reactions go. I think he will respond to their response, and that will change whether he ends up getting a redemption arc or whether he follows the same path as he has previously.
Yeah, because I feel like that the way that will happen will be kind of similar to with what happened to Kara, but to like the nth degree. So like there's definitely potential for things to happen because his actions also speak quite loudly. So Kara ended up kind of learning to trust him because he'd saved her life and didn't do what she expected him to do, given he was like a alleged wanted criminal type thing. So yeah, I think it's going to play out very interestingly because it's going to be a lot more serious than just, oh, he committed these murders. It's like he's this one person that everyone like is terrified of. Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting. I thought Caden might have ended up being Davian from the past future, so I was shook. Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, I very kind of thought that too for a little bit. Like, I did think that for like a little bit, and then that thought left my brain. Disappeared.
No, that's a really interesting theory, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing that I was freaking out with over in the live show was Weir's father.
Right?
I was upset.
I was
upset. That was a curveball that I did not want. No, thank you. No, thank you. I was very because it was just he was becoming one of my favorite characters, and I just really liked the growth and the development. Like he was this man. He was this man back. Yeah, he was giving me like kind of dalanar vibes. Like he was this man back in his day, but then something happened, and then particularly with his son learning that he was gifted, and he started to change and see things in a new light, and was like advocating for them. And I was like, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
JK. It was all mind control.
A JK. A big lie. It's all fake. Like I read that and I was like, do not do this to me. Like, no.
I was like, you rude.
Yep.
Like I thought it was because like because you know like because as he's dying, because he says those things to Weir, and then like it's like he switches his tone completely, and then I was like, wait, that's different. But I didn't think anything of it. Yeah,
because we was like, oh, he's losing so much blood, he's delusional, and now he's saying these things that he doesn't mean. But it was like, it was such a shift.
Yeah, and I just thought, oh, maybe like something just like, yeah, like I just thought, oh, because he's got blood loss, he's just losing his mind. And then you find out, I was like, fuck that, I'm done. No.
But it's like, because Asha knows, and she's like, we can never find out, but we know that he's going to find out. We know he's going to this is gonna.
He's going to find
that
out.
bombshell.
Yeah,
that bombshell when it gets weird is going to be a bad time.
It is going to be such a bad time.
He doesn't ever find out. I really don't ever want him to find out. I don't ever want him to find out, but I know he's going to find out. And it's going to ruin me. I'm going to be so upset.
You don't put a loaded gun into a scene and then not use it. That is the world's biggest
Rochelle,
loaded gun.
I don't want it to happen.
I don't want it either. I'm just being realistic.
Oh, God. Oh. Yeah, I know. I'm just...
Kaz being sad.
Kaz is just the saddest.
I'm giving hugs through the screen. Yeah, it was devastating. But yeah, and I was just like, that just reinforces the whole belief about like augurs not doing the right thing and abusing their magic. It's like we have a prime example of why the ordinary people are absolutely terrified of them.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll definitely be
and
a
it's
big
like,
pivotal moment later.
Yeah, and it especially, it's just so complicated as well, because Aaron wasn't doing it like it wasn't intentional. Like, he didn't do it initially with like this particular intent. It wasn't a malicious thing. It was literally a survival response. He was being like tortured.
As a survival response.
Yeah, exactly.
The second he dropped it, he was dead, and he knew that.
Yeah.
Oh no, exactly, and because Davian is an augur, their friendship though.
Their friendship. Don't.
Oh. The angst is real, guys.
No, don't. We haven't even read book 2 and 3, and we're already like panicking. Stop it. Do not do this to me.
Look, buddy read.
Book
2 and 3, so we can just like cry together.
We got to do it.
Guns to do it. Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, let's move on from that, because I feel like we're gonna get too upset. Yeah. How about Davian and him like dying but not dying? Yeah. And him
more of that, please. More info.
Yeah, what was that tutor's name? Like, I can't remember his name. The person that was teaching him about
Malshash?
Yeah.
Malshash.
Malshash, yeah.
It made me think of Malsack.
He'd never be taken seriously again.
Look, it took me a hot minute to realize that there was like time travel magic happening in this book, because on audio I was literally cleaning the apartment, just like listening to it, and then like it happened and I was like, what's happening? I don't know what's going on. I thought that whole segment was pretty interesting because wait, what is this comment?
Yeah.
He's ripped.
Yeah.
Freaking ripped.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see you, Asha. I see you.
I see you.
Yep.
Get it, girl.
Oh. I'm sorry, what were you saying? the time travel thing.
Yeah, no, like the time travel thing threw me through a loop, just because I was a little bit I think it just took me a little bit to wrap my head around how far back he'd gone in time, and then like what he was doing there, and then like him coming back and all this stuff. I don't know. It was a little bit confusing for me. Mostly, I think it's because I did it on audio. Like, I wasn't able to physically like go back and forth between pages. But Davian, like, yeah, that part for Davian was really interesting. I thought that his character definitely learned a lot about himself there. especially with like that whole thing about him being attacked in like his whole attack, like the assault, and what he did to everyone in the it was a tavern, right? Was it a tavern?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the tavern.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I thought that was
and
really.
what was his name? Tyrus as well. Tyrus. So like how they're kind of linked because of it. Like, oh my god, that first scene where I think Weir or Caden sees him in the middle of the night, like coming up with a knife and is going towards his face, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And then you realize what's happening, and they're still kind of linked, and it's eerie, super eerie.
So eerie,
yeah. There's so much that still like has yet to unfold, which I'm terrified about. But yeah, going back to Malshath, I agree. Like, who is he? Like, what? Because I want to know a little bit more about like
how did he get there?
Obviously the encounter. Yeah, like how the encounter that Davian and Malshath had in Malshath's past, and why he's teaching him. Yeah. Why is he there? How did he get there?
Yeah.
Why does he care?
How long has he been there? Yeah.
Yeah. Also, him when Davian goes into his memories, and there's it was his one, right, with the wedding scene.
Yeah.
The whole wedding. I was like, rip, R.I.P. Just sad days. Let's move on. Everyone has so many tragic backstories, man. Like everyone's got some tragedy.
So tragic. So hard.
It's
delicious.
So hard. Hang on. What does my cat? Oh, Wisp, do you have an opinion on the book? Do you have an opinion?
Hello, Wisp.
Do you have an opinion? No, she's just too busy playing with her little feather toy.
Okay.
All right.
Sophia was like, I need
I can imagine that would have been. Yeah, I can imagine that would have been kind of easy to miss if you were tired reading it, because you don't quite realize until Malshath spells it out as well, and you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah, he really had to spell it out for me, and I was like, what the fuck? Excuse me? I'm offended.
Yeah.
Squeeze?
Yeah.
Yes.
Us.
Yeah, I mean, true, you're right. Everyone has a tragic backstory. But I was
so true.
You know what? Can we have a high fantasy where everyone has a good backstory? Like, or is that just contemporary? Like, I don't even know.
Sophia, you've played D&D. Everyone has a tragic backstory. There is no acceptable.
I know. My character has such a bad backstory. It's so sad. Anyway, we don't want to talk about her. We'll talk about this book.
We'll follow this first, and then we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Just
okay.
Like I'm seeing all the little seeds being planted for future, and I'm just like intriguing.
So we're all gonna read
so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Two of our Sydney people are already in the middle of, if not close to finishing book 2. Like, which is
I think one of them is
very impressive.
Yes, so one of them I think is.
Has Whitney started book 3?
I think
amazing.
Whitney started book 3, and I'm like, you machine. Books are so long.
I should have had the forethought to order books 2 and 3. Like, oh man, there was just a lot.
Can we appreciate how pretty these are? Like,
I love the covers.
Stitches.
I really love the covers.
They are so pretty. I'm just like the spines. Seeing the spines together in the bookstore is just like,
oh,
chef's kiss.
Yeah,
delicious.
Because it goes red and then blue.
I gotta say, the moments when Asha is reunited with Weir and then reunited with Davian was so satisfying.
Watching
you're following these two divergent stories, and each of them think the other is dead for a really long time.
So it was just for each other.
They were all so incredibly heartbroken, and then Asha learns that Davian's alive. Asha thinks Davian's dead, and Asha's like, no, he can't be dead because I've seen his future self.
Yeah, but she doesn't say anything for a bit, I think.
Yeah, it's just like the weighing up of like the grief of like Asha losing everyone. She thinks everyone is dead, all of her friends, her whole life is over. and then
And
seeing
she's just been made a shadow.
And she's just been
made a
lost
shadow.
herself as well.
she's lost
Yeah.
her magic as well, like the good thing that she had, and then but also from Weir, like finding out that the whole school's dead. They're the only two that have gotten out. They have no idea about Asha. And then him leaving Davian in the city and Taris being like, nope, he's gone. And like we're having to come to terms that he is the last one left.
Oh, that was just devastating.
Yeah.
My poor boy.
Devastating.
Yeah,
Devastating.
I was gonna say, if the identity of Malshash is revealed in book 2 or 3, please don't say
Yeah, please don't
anything
say.
about it
We want to
here.
find out
I-
in real time.
Yeah,
We
I
wanna
definitely
have
feel
that
like it's
freak
gonna
out
be a
in the
big reveal
messenger.
that I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Also, yes.
He
Agreed.
Thought kick.
Yeah, that's satisfaction. Oh. Have you read the whole series, Floyd, by the way?
Oh, we've got someone saying
Yeah.
this is my
I don't.
favorite
It's
series.
Wow. Hey.
oh,
Big words.
brilliant. Much big wordeth.
Much
Big
big
wodus. Wodus.
Wordeth.
Wodus. Yeah. I have to say
Mm.
that, yeah, I think when I was reading the moments between like Asha and Weir and David like reuniting, I was like, my
Mhm.
little heart can't take this. So sweet. And now they're probably all gonna die.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, well, beautiful, but they're probably all gonna die. Or something.
We've
bad's gonna
escaped
happen.
death once.
We've
We
escaped
cannot
death
do
once.
it again.
Also, when Caden
Yeah.
how about when Caden goes into the
Ugh.
box? Like that was like Caden going into the box. I was like, bruh, what are you doing, bro? Like
The choices.
Why you do this? Stop it.
It's like you have friends. Just accept that you have friends.
Just accept
and
that
move
you have
on.
friends.
I know, especially since you learned that like that was his own design for him. Like that he set this whole plan in motion for him to do this, and I'm like, no, you're falling into your own stupid plan. Be a different
Mhm.
person now.
You don't have
But at the same time,
weight
if he
to
didn't,
make
then he
different
wouldn't have been able
choices.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if he didn't get that sword, he wouldn't have been able to like save everybody.
It's true. It's true.
Like, bro.
A year and a day. A year and a day. Whew.
I'm actually, yeah.
Terrified.
I don't know when I'll pick up books 2 and 3, but I definitely think I'll have to do it soon. Otherwise, I feel like I'll forget everything in book 1.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of details in there that will potentially become very relevant. So I want to read it before we lose all
So
of
much.
I think I'll have to read the last
Exactly.
third. I think I'll reread the last third before I do book 2 and 3. But I think someone said in our Sydney meet that books 2 and 3 have a like a recap. I think they have a recap at the beginning, which
that
will
would be good.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah. That'll be good. Oh, books 2 and 3 are actually.
And like a little.
I have heard that because I
That's
have
exciting.
one of my friends read the series, I think a year or 2 ago now.
Mhm.
And I said that yes, books 2 and 3 are better than book 1. I think because book 1 is
That's
such
great.
like, everything is
Yeah, it's a setup book.
happening, but it's very much an introductory / setup book. So it'd be good to see all of those seeds, like having
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's planted the garden and it's gonna flourish soon, in some horrifying ways, I suspect. Like
I'm ready.
there's so much there's so much that we know is gonna happen and know that secrets are gonna be revealed, and I'm not ready.
I
don't
mean,
think
he
I'll
could
ever be
surprise us
emotionally prepared
all
though.
and just choose not to do the hurting of the Weir. Like he could surprise us all.
Could
But
surprise
he's done the Duke dirty. He did the Duke so dirty.
so dirty. So dirty. Also, just fresh in my mind, but like Cole dying, I was like,
oh yes.
oh no. Oh, little angel.
Especially since you like grow to love him, he's just like this brooding like character who doesn't like Asha for whatever reasons, but everyone's just like, oh, he'll come around, and he does come around, and then he's ripped away. Like,
Like literally
Goodbye.
from us. Oh, yeah. Also,
Oh yeah, no, I think it's totally get
Oh, yeah.
that. It's so
Yeah.
exciting. The books 2 and 3 are even better. Like that makes me very, very
Very
excited.
keen.
I find
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank Raquel, she chose this one.
Yes.
Also that.
That's such a good question because I was thinking the same thing, and maybe it's because I read it too fast that I couldn't pick up on anything. What do we think? Or did we?
Because I mean,
that's not revealed.
I mean, it's not revealed. They just have theories. Like, well, it was Tayrus and then the like king's best friend or something having that conversation that Asha hears, and also the best friend's real name is like Tell or something like that. And I'm like, wait, who are you?
Are you? Reveal yourself.
What are you doing here?
What do? Explain.
Show me who you are.
Show me who you are.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. But yeah, yeah, it's interesting that, like, you know, after seeing what happened with the Duke, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, how many augurs are, or like who is controlling everyone essentially? Like, how do we know whether the people around, like everyone in court and everything, like whether they're actually their real selves or whether they're being controlled? Who are like trying to play.
Yeah, I think being like, oh, obviously it's the opposing army is too easy an answer. Like it's going to be someone that we do not expect.
Like we wouldn't have suspected. Yeah.
Brilliant. Perfect.
Yes. The author's website has like a full detailed map and glossary for all of the books as well.
I have to say that doing it in audio was really hard because they're like, I can't see a map. Like, you know, it's tricky. That's always tricky with fantasy and audio because I like to look at a map and go, oh, so they went from there to there. Oh, so that is there.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else that we want to discuss before we wrap up, or shall we reveal
Ash's whole like shadow thing and like that whole secret society?
Bro.
Yep.
Female in charge, we'd love to see it.
Yes.
We'd love to see it.
Love to see it.
Us, James. Don't take it away from us.
Please. I'm so little. But yes, I am very interested to see how that part of Asha's arc is going to play out.
Like
she's in some muddy waters.
Aside from Caden, obviously, because we all know what happened with Caden. At least we left off with Caden. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Like, let's just protect Weir and Davian's friendship at all costs, and get Asha in a place where she's like girl bossing. Well, she's already girl bossing, but like, you know, even
recognizably girl bossing. She needs the recognition and the respect.
Yeah, that's true. She does. She deserves it.
She deserves it.
Deserves the world. Love her. Yeah.
Yes. I want Kara to be in charge by the end.
Oh, Kara. Yeah. Kara. I thought Kara was so fun.
Because didn't they also say that she's like second or third in line to the throne? So it's like, yes, she can rule. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, yes.
Yeah, I think it was the king, the duke, and then Kara. So now that the duke's gone, I just need the king to die, and then I will be content.
And he's not well. He's not doing so good.
At any moment, he could just drop. Can he drop the beginning of book 2, though?
Please.
Just die.
All I want.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to discuss because I think I'm still processing. But I mean, I have to say, this book was really good. Like, it was a good pick, Rochelle. Well done.
Yeah, solid. We love it.
I did it, guys. I picked one.
You did it! It did take you a while to pick one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm working on reducing the physical TBR, so I was like, I want to pick a book
Appreciate
that I already have.
Yeah. But now I have to go buy the books.
You're welcome.
I'm
Oh no!
buy books, and now I'm like, well, guess I have to go buy it.
Oh no! What a shame.
I actually think I'll give this series to as well. Callum will really enjoy this one.
Mm-hmm.
If he ever reads any of the books I give him.
Yeah.
He's still behind.
Yeah.
Ah,
Well, in terms of our October book, we will be reading, this is my pick for
Mhm.
the month. We're going to be reading The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri.
I don't have-
What was the thing that Whitney said? That what was the review that she shared yesterday? It was brilliant. Hold on. Let me just a
Can't
quick like one line
A quick little
blurb.
summary.
There's too many chats. Stop talking, everybody. Oh, in the chat. Okay. Morally grey lesbians. Intrigue. Utter intrigue. So excited. Ooh. Praise from Shelley Parker Chan, Chloe Gong, Alex E. Harrow, RF Kwong.
All Queen.
Yes. All queens.
Brilliant. S.A. Chakraborty.
Ah, Queen.
I'm excited.
Sounds good.
Yes. Yes.
I know I have Empire of Sand. Have I read it?
I don't know. I've read it.
I
I
have.
think I read it. No. Yes.
Did you? Or did you not read it?
I don't know. Did we? We didn't have it as a book club book, did we?
No.
No. Okay.
Quickly checks Goodreads to see what has read.
The cover is so familiar, so I know I either own it or.
It was very popular when it was originally going around.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I'll be interested to see if I like this one more than Empire of Sand.
I remember when I read Empire of Sand, I think I gave it like a 3. I think I know it's a duology. I haven't read the second book. I don't know what. So have you read the second book, Rochelle?
No, I gave it a 3 and was like, I'll circle back to this, and that was 4 years ago.
I'll come back.
I'll come back.
Wait for book 2. I'll come back and do that. And you know that never happens. I lie. I think.
I'm dumb as hell. I'm heartbroken.
Emo fantasy. Fantasy emos. We love it.
We love a reference to being emo.
Awesome.
Yes. Good.
Yes.
Okay, cool. At
Good,
least
good.
Deserves it.
okay, and she gets the respect she deserves. Okay, cool.
Wonderful.
Good.
All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap up this live show. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and for discussing the book with us today. We had a great time. And thank you, Rochelle, for the wonderful choice, the pick. Good times.
You're welcome.
I'm very excited that we're all keen. I'm very excited we're all keen to continue the series. That's also a good sign.
Yes.
It's going to be a good time. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it doesn't break my heart even more, because the ending of this was
break
quite
it
rough.
and then put it back together.
Break it, then put it back together, please.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll allow it.
I'll
Yeah.
allow it.
All right, everyone. Thank you all. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed today's live show, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.